Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, traders. Can you hear me and see my screen? If you can just confirm that with yes in the questions there. Just type yes in the questions so I know that I'm not speaking to myself. Okay, excellent. All right, thanks, guys. Okay, well, welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. What we're going to do here is we're going to go through just very, very quickly try to go through the some of the resources, introduction to Bookmap at the bookmap.com website, some of the different plans, and then we'll get into some of the platform details. Really, what Bookmap is showing you in the markets. Very, very objective information, and then we're going to start to look at some of the order flow phenomena. Okay, just some of the basics though. We'll start off here with the risk disclaimer. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let you know as well that Bookmap comes with education. There's an educational course. There's 4 parts to it, and there are setups in there and advanced features as well. But we start off with very basic information, and some of that information and order flow phenomena I'm going to go over today. And then also when you subscribe, you get access to, obviously you get the product, but then you get access to that 4-part course, and then the advanced order flow webinars, and those are daily following this webinar. So in another half an hour, we'll start the advanced order flow webinar. So the concept here is go through the course and then see it in the live market. Okay, the same material is going to be covered in the live market. And during this advanced order flow webinar, we start to anticipate future price movement based on our analysis. So then you can understand how to use this tool in the live markets. All right, so let's jump over to bookmap.com. And just scroll down a little bit. You can see there's an intro video here, more information about Bookmap. Here's the webinar link that you may have clicked on to subscribe. And we continue on down here, more information about Bookmap, and come down to connectivity. Okay, so this is important here. So I'll cover this and then some of the pricing. So connectivity. So Bookmap, what is Bookmap? We are a visualization software trading platform. We're not a data provider. This is how you connect Bookmap. You will need to provide the data. Okay, you can see there's other platforms here like Ninja, TTX Trader Pro, and Interactive Brokers Traders Workstation. You can connect to these 3 different platforms via their API. So you have that option, but we prefer it and we recommend it to connect directly to the data providers such as CQG, Rhythmic, Gain, IQ Feed, Transact, and then Dev Experts. And I'll just quickly go over this with Dev Experts. This is for US equities. Okay, not for, it's the only way that right now you can connect to US equities. And that's for NASDAQ Total View. So let's scroll up a little bit here and I'll just show you this NASDAQ total view and you can get some of the details here. One of the great details, obviously very low latency, it's excellent, but you have full depth of market. Okay, so that means that several dollars outside of current price, it's live. The book is live, and that is unique and a nice advantage. Okay, so Bookmap, here are the subscription packages. You can subscribe monthly or yearly. You can see you get a 20% discount if it's yearly. Let's click on monthly. And you have these 2 different versions here, digital and global. All right, so let me go through the differences in each. The digital version here, it's free. You get a live feed to 1 digital currency. And that's all you get. Well, you also get US equities delayed feed. And it's a full working version. There's no data feed costs, and it's live. Okay, but you only get basic education and limited support. The Digital Plus version, this is where you can get up to 20 different digital currencies. It's through the GDAX exchange. You can record and replay and you can also trade from the Bookmap chart into your GDAX account if you have one. All right, and then you also get the advanced education that I was talking about earlier, that 4-part course, and access to the advanced order flow webinars. Okay, you also get full support. The global version, it covers everything in digital or digital plus, but this is what you need to connect to the global markets. Okay, so it would offers the capability to connect to U.S. equities as well as the futures. Okay, so this would be the version that you get. It comes with the advanced education and full support. But the Global Plus version, well, what you get with this is everything in Global and everything in Digital Plus. But you also get the ability to trade right from the Bookmap chart into your live trading account. And you get this cache of order flow indicators that we put together. Okay, these are very specific, they're proprietary. We start to identify certain phenomena with these indicators, like large lot tracker. We start to identify larger players in the order book. Imbalance indicators, iceberg detector, another one here, looking for larger players using iceberg orders in the order book. Okay, we can start to identify not only order flow phenomena, but specific players. There's a correlation tracker here as well. All right, so that's the basics for the website. Let's move over here, social media. You can follow us on Twitter at bookmap_pro, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube page and briefly go through it. Some intro videos here on the front page, features and components, and then order flow video snippets. I would recommend starting off with some of the intro videos and then some of the features and components to understand it, what Bookmap is, and through the interface. But then these order flow video snippets, I think you'll find especially helpful. Very concise videos that start to uncover the order flow phenomena that Bookmap can visualize. Okay, so this is the kind of information that we go over in the advanced order flow webinars daily. Okay, when you subscribe to Bookmap. Okay, we just go through it in a lot more detail. These are very concise videos instead. Okay, well, let's jump into Bookmap and take a look. Okay, the S&P, we're gonna look at the S&P unless you guys want to look at something else, let me know. I also have all sorts of instruments here, as you can see, but we'll start off with the S&P and what's going on here. All right, well, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, and you can see the breakdown here. Since 9:30 this morning, cash session. Here's your cash session. You can see right up into very high liquidity up here in the heat map, as you can see. Okay, and you can see also here. Look how I'm going to define what you're looking at here, but in general, some really interesting stuff right off the bat. Okay, before the market even opened here, this is the pre-market from this dotted line here to the left. All right, so very high liquidity down here at around 26.21, and then up here very high liquidity as well around this 26.37, 38 area. Okay, that's exactly where we came to. Okay, these guys have been waiting in the book for quite a while, way before the market opened. These are targets. Okay, this is where the liquidity is, the high liquidity, the larger players, and these areas here can act like magnets. And indeed, that's exactly what occurred. We came up, tested this area, came right back down, tested this area. See this little bounce here as well. We're going to probably see some nice absorption down here, and then the sellers they traded through. Okay, well, we'll take a look and see what was absorbed or what was pulled, etc. And again, really interesting stuff in the current market right now. Look at the very high levels of liquidity here between 26.10 and 26.13. And we're just coming in to test those areas right now. Okay, and we'll see if these guys are pulling or adding. Okay, but all sorts of things already off the bat. Nice structure here as well. You can see that some absorption here, a little more absorption probably, slows down the selling. We maybe start to find a bit of buying, and then we see the break of this level here around this 26.14 area or so. Okay, and it looks like we're coming back up to test where we just broke from, right? Anyway, that's just some basic overall views here of Bookmap. Now let me describe what it is you're looking at here, because for those of you who are new here, you're probably going to look at this and say, it just looks like a mess. There's a lot going on here, a lot of data. It's actually quite the opposite. It's really, really straightforward data. What we're looking at are only 3 elements on this chart. There are no derivatives of time, price, or volume. You're getting a very complete and objective view of the market. Okay, so one element we're showing here is historical best bid and offer. Okay, there's no aggregation in the data. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, we're looking at the volume dots here, these red and green dots. These are transactions that took place on the historical best bid and offer. The final element on this chart is the heat map, this not grayscale, it's a colored heat map. Orange is very high liquidity, and then you can see the scale up here, for example. Very high liquidity is orange, all the way down to yellow, to white, to blue, and then it just goes to black. Okay, very low liquidity. All right, that's it. That's all you're looking at. Okay, so we can extrapolate and understand so much though by these levels of liquidity in the heat map, combining that with the volume and reading the tape here. Okay, so we're going to start off here, and I'm going to take the levels of some of this data off here so we can understand exactly what we're looking at. Okay, and then I'm going to show you some of the issues here within a candlestick chart. Okay, I'm going to right click here and I'm going to change this to a 5-minute candlestick chart. All right, here we go. So now all we're looking at now on the Bookmap chart is 5-minute candlestick chart. Most of us are very accustomed to looking at this. Okay, each 5-minute period has 4 data points. That's all it has. It has open, high, low, and close. And that's a real problem because there's all sorts of data in here we just don't know. We don't have access to. It's very opaque. And that's where Bookmap can be very, very helpful, because we want to break open this candlestick chart. We want to know what happened between these 5-minute periods. This data here is all aggregated within that 5-minute period. And that's really the problem. Okay, so the easiest way to first show our first level of data in the Bookmap chart is that historical best bid and offer. Okay, what this allows you to do now is see exactly what occurred in these areas, and this can offer a lot of insight, just this view alone, because now we can see exactly where what traded within that 5-minute period. Okay, some of these breakdowns, etc. It allows you to see the microstructure. So let's zoom in here. Okay, and what do I mean by microstructure? Right, and this is essential to understand who's in control, buyers or sellers, by looking at this microstructure. Okay, and microstructure, I mean, like look at this kind of sideways action here. Okay, and we have a breakout up here in these areas. It's not a very convincing breakout whatsoever. And then we get a kind of a double top up here. We break down below it. This is a microstructure. Okay, up here, this double top. It's a sideways consolidation, and it's broken. Okay, and where do we go? Okay, we come, if I zoom in a little bit more and take a look at this, this microstructure kind of went back and forth above this little area. It broke down below, and we get a retest back up to it. Okay, these are excellent entry points. Well, depending on the tape and the heat map, putting that together for looking for entries to take this further to the downside. Okay, and we see this happens again and again and again. Okay, in fact, you can look at. I mean, this is kind of sloping down here, but you can see that even this little structure here, there's a low. An equal low here. It was broken. Okay, it came back up and tested into the structure. It did not accept this auction, and it broke down again. And then here's the breakdown further. Okay, so this is now trending down. Okay, we're making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, all of this kind of microstructural data here, you just don't see in this candlestick whatsoever. Okay, it's just not there. The reason being is because it's aggregated in that 5-minute period. Now, it's the same with the volume. Now, let's turn on the volume. That's our second element here in the Bookmap chart. Okay, and what we're looking at now are the transactions that took place on that historical best bid and offer. Okay, so we know precisely what traded and where. Okay, and this is very indicative of a. Let me get rid of this just for the moment. Of a downtrend. Look at the selling in some of these areas here. Okay, you're starting to see more aggressive selling to the downside. Okay, and then some of these tops here, they're still kind of fighting it a little bit. Here they are. You can see on the buy side, but in some of these areas here, and even this pullback here, there's a lot less buying up here compared to the cluster of selling down here. All right, and this is truly like well, what we see, all the time in a downtrend, just more selling, quite a bit more at lower lows. Okay, and you get these pullbacks here with very little buying, so it rotates lower to where it can trade within an area where there are a lot of trades, and you get price discovery even lower. Okay, and it continues to push down, and that's what's occurring here. And we're just looking at just two elements here on this chart. Right, I'm going to zoom in here, and I just want to show you these two elements. Okay, into some detail here. Just a kind of random area here, and I just want to show you exactly what these two elements are. Okay, we're looking at the historical best offer is the red line, best bid is the green line. Okay, that's it. A green dot is an aggressive market buy order. They crossed the spread and they took liquidity off of the best offer. Okay, so that transaction is recorded here as a green dot in Bookmap. Red dot is an aggressive market sell. Okay, so now there's so many transactions that take place, and look at this pie display, for example. You can see that more than 3/4 of this was aggressive buying. Okay, but there's some selling in here too. Well, what happened is there's so many transactions that took place here that we need to give you the overall shape of that volume. Okay, obviously the bigger size is showing you more volume. Now we can get the exact data here. We can use this data tip tool, and then also the same data is down here in this lower left-hand corner. I hover over this dot, and it tells me the date, the very precise time, what was on the ask at this price level, and the volume. So you can see the volume was 48 here. Right? And that's overall, that's both buying and selling. Now, we're looking at here, just to give you a reference, I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit more, okay? Just to give you some reference, between each vertical dotted line here is 200 milliseconds. That is the average blink of a human eye. So you can see that we'll zoom into this little area here, and I'll just show you that within one blink of an eye, we had about 69 different trades that took place, okay, very, very quickly. Okay, that's actually pretty low. A lot of times you'll see hundreds, okay, in the S&P. But just to give some reference and understanding, so we're not aggregating any data whatsoever. You can zoom in, and we can continue to zoom in. And you're going to note that as I zoom in, that there's trades within trades here. Okay, because they occur so quickly that we need to give you the overall delta of what occurred here. Okay, now if I zoom in here, this was actually one trade for 11, we're down at microsecond level. We can continue on, and we can look at nanosecond level now as well. Okay, everything is recorded, every single event, and it's not aggregated. Okay, so now we're going to zoom out though. And you'll note how we start to compress the timeline together. So we're compressing these trades together, and we're just going to show you, and we're going to visually aggregate this just graphically as a bigger dot. And that's what you get. All right, so those are two elements in the chart. Okay, the third element here is the heat map. Okay, now let's zoom out and bring down the dot size, and then let's take a look at the heat map. Okay, and I'm going to take off the candlestick chart as well. Okay, so the heat map. Well, this is derived from the order book. Okay, your DOM, your depth of market. Okay, so everything to the right of this vertical white line here is live market. So here's your best bid and offer right here. Okay, this is the live market window in Bookmap. Okay, then you see the price ladder here, and then you can see the DOM here, this COB column, which stands for current order book. This is your DOM, your depth of market. These are traders here providing liquidity that want to be sellers on the offer at these specific price levels, and then here they are on the bid. Okay, they want to be buyers down here. Now these numbers are always changing, right? They're always adding and pulling liquidity. Okay, and the DOM is good. It gives you a very good understanding and snapshot of the current market. Okay, but that's it. Once these numbers change, the history of that price level is lost. You're going to have to remember it, and that can be really challenging, especially when you start to zoom out and look at higher time frames. So what Bookmap does is we take in a heat map here in this live market window areas of high liquidity. And then we'll paint them in the color map here. Okay, so note this guy just pulled here. Okay, we'll just review this. Now it's about 231, but there was high liquidity here, and he doesn't want to trade. Okay, or those traders don't want to trade. So let's just pull this back a little bit, and you can see what it was before. Okay, and actually our large lot tracker, this white line, is showing us that it was indeed one trader that's holding more than a half of the liquidity here at this 07.5 level. Okay, so it's 483 contracts, and then that trader says, I'm not interested any longer, and pulls. Okay, and it's recorded here. This is what that looks like in Bookmap. Okay, you can see other areas here where there's high liquidity and they start to pull in general. Okay, now let's start to put this together in context of really what we're looking at. And starting to understand the behavior of the auction. Okay, so as price is coming down, think of this as just any other ordinary auction. Okay, for like an automobile or a painting or something like that. You're at the auction here, and as soon as price is coming down to these levels, these guys say, no, I'm not really that interested. I'm going to pull my my bid. I don't want to bid here. I want to bid somewhere else. In fact, we can see where they are pulling to. Okay, if I use the crosshairs here and hover over this area, see how they started to pull here? Okay, they also pulled here at this level as well. See how they're pulling here? And look how it grew, the liquidity started to grow down here. Okay, so they're actually, a lot of them, it looks like they're pulling from here and adding down here. Okay, so from this 06.25 to 05. Okay, and then as price comes down to there, they start to pull as well. They're not interested. So we have just determined, this is not necessarily fake liquidity. It's just that they don't have any intent to trade here at this price level. Okay, they pull and add lower, and they have no intent to trade here either. Now let's make a distinction though between liquidity that is pulled and liquidity that stays in the book and actually trades. And here it is right here. Look at this area here at this 04.5. Okay, and look how they stay in the book here, right? And we see a big red dot here. All right, let's zoom into this area. Okay, and here we go. See these transactions that are taking place within this area of high liquidity? Okay, these larger players are getting filled here. Okay, at this 04.5. Right now, there's more sellers here, more aggressive sellers that they trade through that area. Okay, they just have more selling power, and there's more selling power than there is liquidity at that price level. Okay, but these guys are starting to get filled at these levels, as you can see. Okay, and we're going to start to note areas of completely absorbed, and it slows down that selling pressure. Okay, and then you'll start to see aggressive buyers start to come in, like in this area right here. Okay, and they're lifting the offer. Right. Interestingly enough, look where they lifted this to. Okay, right to where they sold from. Okay, they swept the order book lower here. Okay, we went sideways for a bit, and then they swept the book higher, right back up to where it dropped from. Okay, and look at these little points up here, on the buy side. Okay, well there's very little, right? Okay, in fact it's a mini double top here in the microstructure. There's some buying up here, a volume of 8. Or it looks like actually 18 altogether. And then you can see that up here, though, there's none. Okay, nothing traded up here. Okay, so what we're seeing here is the buyers exhausting out. Okay, there's no buying pressure, and then the sellers start to come in and start to pull the market down into this range that we're looking at here. All right. Okay. So, and that's currently what's going on here. Here they are. Look at them hit the bid here, sweep the book lower. They're going to test this 02 now. Let's see them test into it. Come on, guys. A little bit of minor pullback here. And if the sellers, there they go, right into 02. Okay. Now let's see if they can sweep through 02. Okay, it's starting to bounce. See how it's trading into that? They're staying in the book. That's real liquidity. Okay, and they're starting to absorb that. Okay, but they're trading through it at the moment. Okay, but we know over here and here they're starting to get involved on the buy side, and the buyers are going to note that. Okay, and they're going to come in here at some point, and we're going to start to see a shift in the order flow. Okay, based on what we're looking at here in Bookmap. All right, so do you have any questions? Now, the beauty of this historical heat map is it goes way beyond the current book. Okay, and that's usually what we look at in the dome is just the current book. Okay, like I was showing earlier, we can look at Bookmap and we can zoom way out. Okay, and we can see how these other areas of liquidity behave, and did they stay in the book or did they pull, etc. Okay, and you can see that we're continuing lower here. We're breaking our little structural area here at 05 and have gone down below it. Okay, and we still see that there's more aggressive selling here and trading at these lower lows. All right. All right, that's it for today then. So we'll continue on tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy to answer them and look at some different markets if you guys like as well. Else, we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye bye.